Welcome back to Tough Men of Faith. How you doing, RT?
Good.
Good. We have a guest with us today,
We do.
Chris.
Hey,
Welcome,
how's
Chris.
it going?
Good. So usually, like when we have a guest on, Chris, we have a topic like the
Yeah.
guest brings with them, but we talk about it before. Like, hey, they're like, this is something I'm really passionate about with men.
Yep.
Would really like to speak about it, and
That would've been
for
nice.
a few weeks I talked with him about it, and we've been wanting to have you on forever. So Nick's like, I'll reach out to him, and so Nick reached out to you.
I did.
He
have.
did. He did reach
told
out.
told you when to be here.
Yep.
So we just did an episode on communication, and obviously,
Yeah.
I didn't listen to anything that we talked about.
Yeah.
So here we are.
So yeah, we'll get into, but the stuff we did at the beginning, we got to do all that.
Oh yeah,
Do it.
ready?
Yeah. So
Increase Jesus. Check it out for some T-shirts and is it increasejesus.com.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Use the code tough-10
Yep.
for 10% off.
They have some cool shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, they got some pretty cool stuff. I got one on today.
You do.
Yep. Better
That's-
is one day.
Yeah, that's my favorite shirt they have.
Yeah, me too.
That I wear.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
making you look buff over there.
It's not.
You know,
no.
at this angle it is.
Yeah. Tough, not buff.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I said buff.
No,
but
I know what you said. But
Yeah, but this is not
it's the
accurate?
angle and the lighting.
You need to cut the sleeves off. That's what
I
you need
need
to do.
to. Yeah, I
Some
might
weeks
do
you're in
that.
here to cut off.
It's one of my
That's what you
favorite
should
shirts,
do.
though, that I got from them. And
Well, you can get 10% off. Just order you a new one.
yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
There you
Okay.
go.
You're making that big money at building houses.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Just some really cool drywall work, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah. Thank you. Then we got the Farmstead Summit coming up.
Yeah, so September 5th through 7th.
Yep.
Yeah, so get signed up for that. The registration just went out. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And again,
It
like,
better be.
I hope so. It's going to be a good
People are
time.
going to be asking for their money back.
Well, well, there's probably not going to be any money to give back. So
Yeah.
it's we're already
Good.
going. We're taking out a mortgage on our house to be able to pay for it, I think. So
It'll be fun.
yeah, no, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
It'll be
And
good.
then just make sure you get signed up quick. There's several churches that are bringing their men's ministries.
Yep.
We're going to have to limit how many people can come
Yep.
to it. So it's one of those things that,
Yep. We might need some volunteers at it,
yeah,
you know.
if you don't want to pay for it,
Yeah. Yeah, we might be able to work something out.
and if you can cook or clean, what else?
Shouldn't be much to clean,
That's true.
you know.
Yeah.
Um,
And so the other thing, like it is camping,
yeah.
but if you don't have a tent, we have some tents.
Okay. Nice.
So yeah, like single man tents. You're gonna have to put it up and stuff yourself.
Yeah.
We're not doing that for you. So
It'd be
it's-
fun.
It's like an all inclusive.
It's kind of like an all-inclusive.
It's like all inclusive for $100 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
All your meals.
Do a little training class before on tent put up.
You know,
Yep.
that will be some patience. I
Yeah.
hate putting up tents.
See ya?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm just gonna bring my
You just
trailer
gonna
and
sleep
sleep
in
in
that
it.
cot, that army cot.
That army cut, yeah, it just folds out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other option. Like you can just sleep under the stars.
Yeah.
I remember we went a few years
Hopefully.
ago down there to camp, and there's one dude that
Hopefully, if the
that.
weather's nice.
sleep in your car. I mean, it's rain or shine,
Yeah.
so and it's primitive,
Yeah, it's,
right? I mean,
yeah,
there's
it's very
no-
primitive.
There's no electricity.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
It's gonna be a good weekend.
It's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
make
we
sure you get
got some
signed
good
up.
speakers, some good competitions.
Yeah, do
You
the
know,
little
all things that guys like to do.
shooting,
Yeah.
some rucking, some
Yeah.
whatever. Just
Running through the creeks with a backpack on.
yeah, you can do that.
It's gonna be fun. Isn't that what
Or you
wrecking is?
Yeah, or you can just sit in a chair next to the fire for 2
Yeah.
days,
Good.
not do anything.
Good.
Cell phone coverage is spotty.
At best.
At best.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you have to walk up the hill literally
true.
to get good coverage.
I was saying that as a positive thing, though.
Yes.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah, it'd be
No,
really
I think
nice
it's very
to,
positive. Leave
You
them
know,
at
check
home.
out.
Yeah. All right. So sign up September 5th through 7th. And if you can't be there Thursday, just come Friday.
Yeah.
Do 2 nights
Yep.
or 1 night. So here's the thing. Since you didn't give a topic,
Right. We're just gonna wing it.
I'll give you guys the option.
Yeah.
2 things I've been thinking about.
What you got?
So I have some information on them. So I can like give the information. You guys can discuss it.
Okay.
Here's the 2. Pick from 1. 6 type of guys you need in your life.
Okay.
So like different types of like I think all guys need certain types of guys in their life.
Yeah.
6 types of guys you need in your life. Or navigating life's transitions.
I like the 6 types of guys in your life.
Yeah.
Chris?
I think 6 types.
Yeah. I'm not very good at navigating transitions, so let's not talk about that.
Yeah, that's been a personal one for me. That's
Yeah.
the reason I started writing some stuff down on it.
Okay.
Well, we're going to talk about it sometime
Oh yeah.
but we won't today.
Okay.
But just thinking through like for me, my kids are transitioning out of like from depending on me to depend on me in a different way because
Yeah.
they're older and
Yeah.
it's just been a transition. So
Okay.
and
we'll
we all
talk about
face it.
that soon.
Yeah, we will.
Maybe
That's
next
good.
week.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I was thinking about Joseph. I want to do a little study on him because he goes from like this favored son to a slave to running a country. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine the transitions? Anyways, some other time since you
All
guys
right.
don't want to talk about it.
Yep. Next time.
I mean, we can if you heard about it.
No. Listen, with the two of you, I've learned not to get offended.
That's good.
6 types of guys. All right. So we talk a lot on here that guys need a community. You need guys around you.
Yeah.
We're made for community, and more so, like as men, we really need that. That's missing in American culture, and a lot of times,
Yep.
and, men are desperate for that.
Yeah, we weren't made to do this alone.
No, not at all. So number one, we need a mentor in
Yeah.
our life,
Yep.
right? So a more experienced man who provides guidance, wisdom, advice, helping you navigate life's challenges.
Yeah.
You guys got to say more than yep.
Yep. Nope. I agree.
Have you seen this in your life? A mentor? How's it benefited you?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny that I don't think of people as a mentor, but you start making friends with somebody and they're wiser than you, older than you. They can help you, just kind of lead you, teach you a little bit, but it's not formal. It's very informal. It's just a friendship. And I wouldn't think that I'd have a mentor in the sense that I would think of them as a mentor. I would think of it as a friendship with somebody that's, beyond me in years.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that we miss, and I think a lot of it is because as men, sometimes we want to think that we have to have all the answers or we have to be the alpha at all times. And I think when you look back into previous cultures, you'd always see that mentor-mentee type situation growing up. And I think as adults, it's a lot harder, to go find some guy to then sign up to be a mentor or whatever. But as we cultivate that into newer generations, I think it becomes a little bit more easier. I think of like a Paul and Timothy would be like my number one that I would go to on that. Somebody that just follows and lives life, but yet can be called out and, explain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
All
with
right.
mentors, you gotta proactively go find one.
You do.
They usually don't just show up.
Yeah.
At least in my life, the ones I've had, they haven't come to me and be like, "Can I mentor you?"
Yeah.
I've had to go to them.
Yeah.
So I think a little bit is on the mentee, I guess, if you would.
Wouldn't it be like Elisha with Elijah?
Yeah.
Was like, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to
Right.
stay right here and I'm going to follow you. And I'm like proactively, I'm going to be next to you because I need to learn from you.
Yeah. Yes, we need a mentor. And I think the other thing for guys is sometimes we forget that we should be mentoring people as well,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I think it's easy for us to think like, man, I'm still trying to figure all this out, and
Yeah.
forget that there's guys a few years behind us that we should be.
Yeah,
looking out
exactly.
for.
People are looking at you and wishing they were in your shoes or wishing they were like you.
Yeah.
Whether
right.
you realize that or not.
So get a mentor, right? So you need that.
Yep.
You need that. The accountability partner. So you need a guy, a close friend who will hold you accountable in your spiritual goals, your relationship goals, even like I think your personal goals,
Yeah.
right? So there's the spiritual aspect, being a good family man, but also the one who's going to hold you accountable in all areas.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. That's always been a good one for me, is to have a friend that knows me and knows me well, not just the front that I put on or the persona, but knows about Nick behind the scenes as well.
Yeah.
And knows what's going on in my personal life and spiritual life, and it's not slow to call me out on my shortcomings.
Yeah.
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 I think accountability partners, they're hard because, it is revealing that true self behind and allowing, in essence, everything to be open. And again, I watch and I see, there's just the two we've talked about so far, but, I could list women who have all of these, and they have mentors and they have accountability partners, and I'm whatever the next four are,
Right.
I'm going to be able to show you where
Yep.
women do this really well.
I agree.
But men just very much struggle because
Yeah, we're not letting our vulnerability out there.
no, and honestly, I think sometimes the hard thing is that we're usually surrounding ourselves with people that are in the exact same part of our shoes.
Yep.
And so that they don't have the ability to push us.
Right.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And we have to be willing to find those and push those around us to be better than us, and to find those that are better than us,
Right.
so that they can push us to be better.
Yeah.
So
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that when you said it, when I start thinking of the ladies in my life, even like my daughters and my wife, like, Yeah, I think she has all these,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and probably multiple.
Yeah.
On all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not. This doesn't come natural for men many times.
Yeah, women are good at this.
Yeah.
But women, I feel like,
Sometimes Nick gets in trouble when he
nope,
starts that way.
I'm not getting in trouble today.
Okay,
I feel like women don't have as hard a time sharing their vulnerabilities with other women. I feel like women are a little more relatable to where they don't have to be the alpha. Where I feel like guys and testosterone kind of makes us feel like, we need to kind of put ourselves on a pedestal and not show our weaknesses.
And I think that's our failings as being mentors or having mentors is not making it common and commonplace for men to be open up to each
Yeah.
other and to
Like, I
be
am
able
weak and I do have
Yeah.
problems and I don't have it all together.
yeah where it does seem like, at least in our culture, for our culture, like there's never been a push on women to be perfect.
Right.
But we've put this thing on ourselves to be perfect, and we shouldn't be, and we're
Yeah.
not. And then we end up coming across as fraud sometimes when we act like it, and we're definitely not.
Yeah. So get a mentor, get an accountability partner, someone knows you well. The third one I have here is an encourager. So, a friend who uplifts you, who's positive, who motivates you to keep going. You
Yeah.
know, when times get tough, like he's there to
And I feel like I have this in both of you guys.
encourage you along the
I feel
way.
like both of you guys, text me at least once every week or two and just encouraging me to keep doing what I'm doing or to keep, to keep moving in a better direction.
Yeah.
Probably.
Let me see if Barnabas, his name's like, was
Yeah.
it son of encouragement or something
Yep.
there in Acts chapter 4.
Yep.
But man, you need friends like that who will encourage you.
Yeah. And to go to bat for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, he wasn't, him specifically, he's not promoting himself. He's
No.
promoting his friend
Mhm.
and getting his friend in front of everybody so they can see him.
Yeah. I have a few friends like this, and man, I'm just thankful for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I almost want to call them up just so I can be encouraged, right? It's like,
Yep.
because as men, like we do, in our culture now, it's not popular to be a masculine, godly man,
No.
right?
Right.
It's not something that a lot of people strive for.
No.
And so when you do, you need some other people that are encouraging with that. So when you're living for Christ, if you're saying no to things you should, you're trying to be a good family man, you're trying to lead your wife well, you're trying to make time for your kids, and you're not living for the world, you need some guys who's going to come around and encourage you, because you're going to have a lot of guys come around you pushing the other way.
Yep. Yeah,
Absolutely.
there's a lot of discouragement there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And anytime you're doing something, what I found, like whether your business, the church, you're starting a ministry, you're going to have a lot of people who are negative about it.
Oh, yeah.
Pushing back the other way.
Yeah,
And
you
so
always
we
have
an
some
enemy.
opposing views,
Yeah.
Yep.
and probably more of them, actually.
Yeah.
More people opposing you than pushing you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I think you need that friend who's
Yeah, and
just
encouragement.
encourage you, right? Hey, I know it's a rough week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I sent a text to a guy last night that I don't know that well, just to encourage him because I knew he had a rough day. And man, he sent something back. It was just like he was so thankful for it. And I was thinking, he was a younger guy. It's like, I don't know that he's been encouraged lately. Just knowing his situation,
Yeah.
right? Not in a group of men, doesn't have maybe what we have with our friendships. And he was just so thankful that someone sent something to him. Was
Yeah,
proud of
somebody
him.
just
and
took a little bit of time out of
and he
their
was
day.
trying to do something, right?
Right.
And it just didn't work, what he was trying to do. And I was like, just keep at it, man. And
Yeah.
for me, it was just a simple text, but for him, it meant a lot
Yeah.
to encourage him that way. So,
Nice.
yeah, I don't think as guys we get that a lot.
No.
So
Yeah.
we need that. And we need to be that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Number 4, the prayer warrior. A friend who is committed to praying for you and with you, or a friend that's going to bat for you before the throne of God.
Yeah. I'm probably not this friend.
Well, no one's probably all 6 of them.
No.
But,
Yeah.
but there's some people you guys know, right? That
Yeah.
they
Oh, yeah.
just, they just
Absolutely.
pray.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I have those friends.
Yeah.
They call or just, all the time. How can I pray for you?
Yeah.
Is there anything you need? Is there anything I can do? Can I pray for you? How can I pray for you? What do you need? And I mean, those texts and calls mean the world to you.
Yeah.
Then you really know that you're actually on somebody's heart and on somebody's mind, and they're
Mm-hmm.
willing to do something about it.
Yeah.
And obviously, I just think as a church culture, Christian culture, we have sometimes minimized the importance of prayer. And so we don't realize that the best thing that we can do for our friends is pray for them and being that prayer person. I can show up, I could be somewhere, I could send a text, I can do those things.
Right.
But if I'm willing to make sure that I'm going to God for that friend about specific things,
Yep.
finding out what they need in their life, and then knowing that people are doing that for me is, is fantastic. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I always think about Moses there in Exodus
Mm-hmm.
when people are messed up. God's ready to destroy him, and Moses is like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
and interceding on their behalf.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it changes what the outcome looks like there through
Well,
prayer, right?
And then go maybe a step further was, what did Jesus ask his disciples when he was going through his
Yeah.
hardest point? He didn't
Yeah.
ask them to be there. He didn't ask them for money. He didn't ask them for support. He said, can you pray for me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he knew that was the most important thing. So
Yeah. Sometimes I think it comes cliche, right? Like, hey,
Yeah.
do you need anything? No, just
Yeah.
pray for me. When the truth is, like, no, I do need something. I need you to pray
yeah,
for
I
me.
need you
Yeah.
to pray for me.
I'm weak right now. And I think Chris has actually helped me some of this in my life, like even more specific prayers,
Yep.
or more vulnerability with a few. Not everyone, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sharing how I want everyone to pray for me, but there's a few that I know I could tell
Yeah.
them, like,
Yeah.
hey, my anger's getting to me,
Yep.
and I feel like I'm about to lose it. So if
See,
you could
this was
pray.
a good topic to have Chris here for because
I,
this is something Chris does regularly.
Yeah.
well, I was challenged. I in a while ago, was very challenged to be like, don't be that guy that's going to be like, yeah, I'll pray for you, and then never pray for him. And,
Right.
and it's so simple to do. So like I got into a habit, and I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but I try to, is sometimes like I'll send my prayer, like what I just prayed, to the person, so they
Yeah.
know exactly what I prayed for you.
Yeah.
And someone even said, with phones and technology we have nowadays, which is bad as it can be, right? There's still
Yeah.
some good things. Is you can just send a voice text and just say your prayer and send it to them, so they
Right.
know specifically. Like, I'm not just saying I'm going to pray for you. Like, I am praying for you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
All right, number 5, the challenger. So you need a friend who kind of pushes you out of your comfort zone, challenges you to grow in your life. So probably spiritually, right? But
Yeah.
also even like maybe in your personal development.
Yeah.
That's a
Maybe in your
dad,
physical life.
husband, maybe physically, right? But that one who's in your life who's not afraid to challenge you in some areas, to encourage you to start that business, to move up and take that promotion, to start that ministry, to whatever the next step or season may be in your life. But
Yeah.
someone knows you well enough, and someone knows you well enough to push you on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
I think the challenger role, I think it can get mixed in with the mentor role,
Mhm.
but I think that it's different in the sense of, I see as a mentor like someone that's been there, done that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm walking through them, I'm following them as they're doing things. The challenger is that person that's sitting next to me, and he may tell me like, dude, I don't know how you need to do this, but you need to do it.
yeah.
And I'm not going to let up until you do it. Like,
Yeah.
we may struggle with this together. Like, we may need to be better husbands. We may need to be better fathers. We may need to do whatever better, but you're willing to listen to them and willing to be challenged by them, by somebody that, again, they know you.
Right.
They may not have had this accomplished yet,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they're going to be the one that's going to push you and do it,
Yeah.
and be there with you.
Yeah, we need to take risk as men, right?
Yeah.
We're risk
Oh, yeah.
takers.
Yeah,
Like,
we
in
are
our
risk
heart,
takers.
we want to take risk. So whether that's trying to jump over this ravine or
Right.
start this ministry or whatever it may be, and
Yeah.
sometimes, as kids, guys get us in trouble. Sometimes our
Yep.
friends by challenging us,
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
"Hey,
Bet you can't do
bet
this.
you can,"
Yeah.
and you're like, "Bet I can." And so I think as adults, sometimes that gets put to the side where we still need that. Like,
Yeah.
and you're like, you need to do it.
Yeah. This
right?
is how I grow.
Yeah, we still need that challenge and be
Yeah.
willing to take some bumps and bruises, but to get up and keep going.
Right.
And,
Absolutely.
yeah, and the challengers usually they're with you, right?
Yep.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
hey, I think you should do this.
At
I'll
least
come along for the
videotaping you.
ride. I'll tape it. Yeah,
At minimum, taping it.
yeah, I'll be there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's an important friend to have.
Yeah.
The last one I have is the companion. So the companion, I wrote down this be a friend who maybe shares some similar interests with you, but also you just enjoy spending time with them.
Yeah.
So some of these could go in multiple places. You
Mm-hmm.
kind of alluded to that, but I do think you need a close friend who, if you enjoy shooting, like you go shooting together. If you enjoy, I don't know, playing board games, you can play board games together. But you have that companionship and you
Yeah.
enjoy spending time together. Jesus had companions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He had his disciples,
Yep.
and then he had his 3, and it seems like he had a close companionship with
Yep.
those 3.
Right.
So I think we need that.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times the hardness of the other things, and the challenges of the other aspects of friendship fall back on your companions, and that being a companion allows you to be those different roles,
Yeah. I agree.
and to be those different things when you've hung out and you're friends and and you can relax and you know those things, but then you're also able to see some of those other
Yeah.
stuff in other areas. So, yeah, I think that I struggle with sometimes this is that, I forget that there is a goodness and a benefit to having fun and just relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And doing something that's building that companionship, and there's a benefit to that.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. But I think so when we just kind of look at all of these, like as men, we have to intentionally seek these out, which isn't always easy.
Right.
Right. So like, how do you find a friend?
Yeah.
Right? Or find one of these. So, I mean, for me, like, man, you should be in some type of community at a church.
Yeah.
It's a good place to start.
Yep, for
Yeah, so
sure.
it's-
I think you got to be one of these guys, right?
Yeah.
You got to be the person that you're trying to find,
Yeah.
and then be willing to take a chance on somebody,
Yeah.
and see if they fit that role or if they're not. And one of the things that I've been actively learning from the women in my life about this and about them doing it is being vulnerable and maybe even awkward at times, being like, hey, I really need someone to be a challenger in my life. Like,
Yeah.
will you do that for me? Will you
Yeah.
push me? Will you challenge me? Like, I
Yep.
want you to have that freedom to do that, letting them know. Or, hey, I really just want to hang out. I just want to have fun. And I want to be able to come here and relax
Yep.
and get away from some things, and just being willing to communicate that to
Yep.
people.
I think like RT said, though, I think when you find yourself in a community like a church or, a different friend group or sporting events or, or you're in sports with people and you find people and you start becoming one of these things, a challenger, a mentor, or, a leader of some sort, I think you find yourself when you kind of raise the bar for yourself, I think you find yourself with other men who are raising the bar for themselves. And it's easier to find people like-minded in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, scripture talks about it, right? If you want some friends, be friendly yourself.
Yeah.
But then getting around the right type of friends.
Yep.
That's,
I agree.
if all your friends are living at home and
Right.
playing video games all day, and
Yeah, you'll become that.
you can kind of see where. I always find it interesting where you see all these studies that you like the average of your 5 friends,
Yeah.
like pretty well most
Yeah.
areas, financially, your career, a lot, and it makes sense, right?
Right.
It's who you're spending time with, and
I'd
Nice.
say one last thing
Yeah.
for me I would throw in there is just I would try not to be the all 6 people to the
Right.
one person.
yeah,
Like, I'm not going to be all 6 of those to RT or you, Nate.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm just not.
Good.
And it's not going to work. And I shouldn't get hurt or get my feelings messed up because it does happen. Guys have feelings, whether they talk about them or not.
Yep.
Is that, like, I shouldn't get my feelings hurt if you have a different mentor or a different companion or
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah, I'm one of those other things in your life. So
Yep.
Yeah.
we need those other people, and it does take a community.
yeah,
I'm glad you added that.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some practical takeaways. We've been trying to do this the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So we talked about this. You need these type of friends in your life. So pick one of these and try to really focus on it.
Absolutely.
One would be if you're not involved in like some type of men's group, find one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or start one.
Right.
Right. So
Yep.
one reason we're doing the
You know-
Farmstead Summit is because we feel like in the men's ministry as a whole, in big church, not maybe our local churches,
Right.
is that there's like this void of there's a lot of information for men. There's a lot of good men's podcasts. There's not
Yep.
a lot of like getting men together.
Right.
So find that in your
Yeah.
community.
Let us break the ice for you.
Yeah.
Show up, find a group of people that
But-
you get along with that are like-minded,
Yeah.
and kind of break off and make a friend.
Yeah. So
Find a
find
mentor.
start that at your church.
Yeah.
Right. The second one would be, I think this is important, is seeking out a mentor. I know it's one of
Yep.
those, but if you don't have a mentor, like start praying.
Right.
If I would ask a pastor, elder at your church, like, hey man, I really need a mentor. Could you recommend someone if you don't have a relationship?
Yep.
And that's important. The third one would be, I think be vulnerable. What you guys have talked about, and make that one-on-one connection.
Yeah.
Like if there's a guy like,
Be careful with your vulnerability.
will you be my friend? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's this guy in our neighborhood. I told Karen the other day, it's like, I think I need a friend because I was like, there's this guy and he's a beast. Like he's jacked.
Yeah.
He has a weighted vest and he's always
your
like
mentor?
running through the neighborhood.
Mentally.
And I look at him and I'm like, man, I really want to be friends with that guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because he would definitely push me because I'm like occasionally run and I'll see him on the other side of the street. And he's just like going up and down, weighted vest. He has his kid out there sometimes
Nice.
running routes. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to break the ice yet.
Oh, you
One
just
day
gotta
I'm
go
gonna
out there.
cross the road and be like, hey man,
You gotta go out there and be his challenger.
can I run with you?
Yeah.
Can you put on a heavier vest so I can keep up?
Absolutely.
But it is a little intimidating, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I think that maybe he looks over to me. He's like, look at that scrawny guy.
Right.
I could really help him. So,
Maybe he looks at you. Yeah, that's probably what he says.
so you just got to take the initiative, right? As
Yeah.
guys. Yeah. Anything else?
I don't think so. I think this was good.
Chris, thanks
I'm
for
glad we
coming
just
on.
winged it,
Absolutely.
Yeah. I guess it was right to just wing it.
right? Hey,
Yeah.
one more thing, Chris. You want to talk about the thing you've got going on?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can.
We got a couple minutes here.
Yep. So on there's Friday nights.
Yeah, you've been
The
getting-
next one will be July 19th.
Okay, you've been doing it like once a month, right?
We try to. We're actually doing a few more this year.
Okay.
So about every 4 weeks.
Okay.
And so, but we call it Conquer the Dark,
Yep.
and we come out here in the church parking lot, and we get together at 10:30 at night.
Yep.
It's late. But then we do about 2 hours.
There's no
of-
excuses why you can't be there at 10:30.
No, there's not, and that's why we did it.
Yeah.
We have parents, or fathers and things
Yep.
like that are like, hey, I got kids. It's like, okay, put them to bed.
Yeah,
like,
put
they
'em to
should be
bed and show up.
by 10:30.
Right.
And the wives are like, hey, we're sleeping or chilling and hanging out. Like, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead. You feel
right.
free to leave. And so, try to take away as many excuses as we can,
Yeah.
because men have a lot of them.
Absolutely. We can make them
And-
for everything.
Yeah, and so we get together at 10:30 for about 2 hours. We do some strenuous activity, and it's tiring.
Yep.
It's exhausting.
I attended one or two of them.
Yes,
and
you have.
yeah.
And
I
we
ran
do.
more than
We've
I've
had a couple
done
people
in
that show
years.
up and they can't do all of it, and there's no shame. Like
Right,
there's
yeah.
no like this is not a macho thing. It's not a competition.
I remember like 15 or 20 guys pushing you.
Yeah.
Guys pushing, and I'm not a runner. Like I don't run well.
Yeah.
And I remember guys pushing me to run, the couple miles or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it was good.
And it is. It's a lot nicer. You'll find out you can do a lot more.
Yeah.
When there's a bunch of guys surrounding you.
Yeah.
And they're doing it.
Right.
You can find out that you do it. You might feel it a little bit more the next day.
For sure.
But we don't just make it just about working out. Physical fitness is great, and it's important. But we also spend some time challenging each other, bringing up something to talk about that week, and then usually either some homework or some things like that to actually push ourselves in other ways too. But creating some of that community that we've talked about here.
Nice.
So
Okay. So Conquer the Dark,
yep, July
Once-
19th, the next
July
one
19th, every 4-ish weeks.
on a Friday night.
Where do you find information on it?
You can go to my Instagram, which is just wild.more15.
Okay.
And we can do that, and I don't post that on your notes or something.
Yeah.
But we'll make another post there. But there is a post there that has all the dates for the whole year.
Okay, cool.
And then we also are going to be adding a couple runs, a couple 3-mile runs, and then 1 5-mile run before the end of the year.
Cool.
So
Well, I'll make sure I don't sign up for those.
Yep.
So
So
we won't be wearing vests though, so maybe
No vests?
maybe it'll
Yeah.
be all right.
Yeah.
if you can go.
I just talked to a guy who went to the first time.
Yes.
Last week. Yeah. So he was pumped.
Yep. We've got a couple that are supposed to be showing
Yeah.
up. You know,
Okay.
That's what we hear, right? Like, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Appreciate
Not a
it.
problem.
Yep.
Sorry it's
Loved
been so
it.
long.
Check
All
out
good.
And,
wild.morse.
Yep.
Wild.more.
15.
Yeah, just Instagram. Just
Instagram.
you search for Chris Moore. I'm
Chris Moore.
Chris
There's
Moore.
probably only one.
Right.
there. There's a lot of those, but you'll see it when you see the wild. So
Awesome, man. Thanks.
See you guys next week.
absolutely.